Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Rant Booth. I'm Rob Brinkman. He's John Coyle on this championship Sunday, a post-apocalyptic snowstorm.
Yes.
Hopefully everyone's safe. Hopefully everyone's warm. Just keep it right here on A2D Radio. We got championship Sunday stuff. We got Philly sports stuff. We got you all covered. Brad Quast will be joining us in a few minutes here to talk football. But we're live on Facebook. We're live on Instagram. We're live on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube. You miss anything here on A2D Radio, download us wherever you get your favorite podcast. Spreaker, Spotify, Google Play, iHeartRadio, iTunes, Takeover Talk. A2D Radio is absolutely everywhere. Be a part of the movement. Don't miss a damn thing. Turn those notifications on. Hit that subscribe. Hit that like. Like I said, we're absolutely everywhere. Each and every Sunday, we are brought to you by All Campus between 10th and 11th Street on the Ocean City Boardwalk. 20% off if you're an A2D member. Hat in hand, cornhole, up to an additional 40% off. There it is right there at the bottom of the score. Google it. Johnny Coyle does his thing down there all summer long. A lot of cool hats. Just re-upped his inventory. So
yeah, got all new hats in there now.
Check out All Campus. We're also brought to you by A2D memberships. $9.99 a month gets you special perks, shout-outs, giveaways, weekly sports pick from the Money Pop Podcast, and Willie Vegas. You know, we do our thing. We goof around here on with our picks and our pick'ems and our parlays.
Yeah, our miracle
We don't
hits.
win. We don't know what we're doing. We're idiots with microphones here. If you want real, pragmatic gambling advice, $9.99 a month. You get the picks. You get all other stuff. You get 20% off at All Campus. So sign up. Be a member. $9.99. It's not much money. You're not going to miss it. You set it on and put it on auto pay. You're good. Sports picks will more than pay for itself. But anyway, we got Championship Sunday. We got, I think, a massive retirement in the NFL.
It sounds like it.
He's in. He's out. I don't know what's going on. Sixers are hot. Flyers are not. We'll get into it. But
Hey, we won.
I know they won a game.
We won.
Now, before I get into the poll question here, we talk some football and we get Brad up here. Like, now, the Flyers did their State of the Union press conference with the president, whose name escapes me right now, and Fletcher, the GM. Dave something or other is his president. It shows how much respect I have for him after that press conference because, you know, Howie Roseman and Nick Sirianni, they do their thing, their State of the Union. They're required to do it by the league. I don't expect them to come out and say, hey, we're going to give these picks for Russell Wilson. We're going to sign DJ Chark, and we're going to draft the A, B, and C. It's not going to happen. They're not going to roll out their blueprint for the entire offseason. But what I expect from situations like that, John, is, you know, don't insult my intelligence. Yeah. And my intelligence was insulted by the Philadelphia Flyers for just yet again, too many times to count where I feel like my intelligence is insulted by this organization. You know, for you to go up there and tell me and say, like, this is not a big deal, we're only a couple pieces away, like, come on. Really?
Yeah, you're a lot more than a couple pieces away. And then you're right. They did insult us by saying, oh, we only need a scorer. We only need a defenseman. Like, we've been hearing that now for 10 years. We've been so close for 10 years.
All I have to do is grow 4 inches, put on – actually, my weight's probably acceptable, but maybe put on some muscle and learn how to throw the football, and then I'm Josh Allen.
Yeah, you're a $40 million guy.
I'm not. But, like, you know, for you to tell me, like, oh, we were in a playoff race in November. Like, huh? Excuse me? The season starts, Chuck. The season starts, Chuck, in October.
Yeah.
That's like the Phillies coming out after the season saying, well, you know, it didn't really work out, but, you know, there was a second there in May where, like, we really thought we had it. Like, the Flyers can go right to bed. We'll roast them if there's time earlier. But let's get to our poll question. Our poll question is brought to you by Specialized Physical Therapy, Dr. Paul Vidal. He's our doc. Make him yours, too. 2 convenient locations, Burlington and Cherry Hill. Like I said, he's our doc at A2D Radio. Make him yours, too. We're going to go football, 3 o'clock, CBS, AFC Championship game. I can't wait to hear what Brad Quast has to say about this game. The Bengals have kind of been the Ramp Booths, kind of like de facto favorite team here over the past couple
I think
weeks.
they're the nation's favorite team.
Like they're kind of the darlings of the NFL right now with Burrow and a good coach and a good offense and like a defense. It's just good enough. So our poll question today: the Cincinnati Bengals will upset the Kansas City Chiefs. John, I'm pushing my chips to the middle of the table on Joe Burrow. They're going into Arrowhead and they're pulling the upset. 7-point dogs. I'm taking them.
No.
Couple reasons here. Andy Reid, his struggles as favorites at home in conference championships are well documented.
Right.
We had four here in Philadelphia. One was in Arizona, but they were favored on the road in Arizona, if you remember. Ended up in losses. You get the one against the Falcons, and you go to the Super Bowl, and you lose to Tom Brady, the GOAT, in New England. And then, he's been to 4 straight in Kansas City. He won one. But, his struggles have been well documented in these big games. Now, I do think that this is a different Andy Reid. This is more relaxed, jovial, fat guy, jolly Andy Reid. But his struggles in big games are well documented. And if Sean McDermott wasn't the most overrated, most incompetent coach.
Really?
Yeah, I'm off McDermott. Okay. I'm not so sure the Chiefs are even in this football game. Number 2. The emotional letdown. Like I said, Sean McDermott, his incompetence, I lost a lot of respect for him as a head coach.
Right.
Maybe we'll get into the coaching carousel a little later because the offensive mastermind that Brian Dabble there, he's going to New York. Might be a problem for the NFC East. We'll see. So the emotional letdown. You had 13 seconds left. You need a field goal. You get it done. You win the toss in overtime.
Right.
Mahomes' fiance or wife is giving everyone a champagne. Jackson Mahomes is dancing around. Kelce and his brother in the locker room celebrating like they just won the Super Bowl. So I'm predicting an emotional letdown by the Kansas City Chiefs at home. Those are my 2 main reasons why the Bengals are going to upset the Chiefs. Also, Joe Burrow is a pimp. Huge fan. Let's go, Joe Burrow. Let's go, Cincinnati Bengals. John, what say you?
I disagree to the poll, but on your point, I will say last week's game against the Bills, the whole world thought that was the Super Bowl, right? Whoever won that was going to go to the Super Bowl and win. Excuse me. So I do think that is going to be a little bit of a letdown, but I can't pick against the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes is just at whole-time level right now. They have the best tight end in the game. They have arguably a top 2-3 wide receiver in the game. I believe Matthews is coming back today.
The Honey Badger, Tyrone Matthews, all indications are that he is good to go with his concussion, which is pretty big.
So that's huge for the defense. He's the captain of that defense, and they are going to take a tremendous uptick with him being back. I just think the moment is going to be a little bit too big for Joe Burrow. I understand he's a great player. I get that. But young players going into these big moments, especially on the road, usually fail the first time. I think he needs to take one on the chin before he can really move on into his career.
I mean, okay. I mean, I hear you on the young player part, but I mean, the Bengals, you could argue, shouldn't be in this game either.
They should not be in this game
at all. Everything went wrong for them last week against the Tennessee Titans, the 1 seed on the road. And they're right here because Joe Burrow is a calm, cool, collected customer. I think he's just handed
that game, in my opinion.
I mean, they still had to make a couple plays to win the football game, though.
Yeah.
And I don't like the argument that, this team lost, diminishes this team advancing. I don't like that. I don't really like to go there.
No, you still got to go out there and win the game. And they did that. Joe Burrow went out there and won the game, looked good. I think he's going to have a good day. It's not like I'm sitting here saying he's going to throw 4 interceptions and have a terrible game. I just think that going into the game knowing that you have to match Patrick Mahomes throw for throw, it's a heavy task for a quarterback. But we'll see if he's got the makeup to do it.
Now, let's break that comment down real quick because it's a good comment. Last week, with 2-3 minutes to go in the game, it was 23 to 13 or something like that.
Yeah.
Like that's not a high scoring game. And then all hell broke loose, and Allen's doing this, and Mahomes is doing that, and all of a sudden it's 42-36.
Yeah, I felt like the defense just forgot how to play in the last 2 minutes of the game.
No, I mean the Bills. My God, I mean I would be sick to my stomach if I were a Bills fan.
So many mistakes.
Just squib kick the ball. That's squib the ball.
That's one of them.
And then you're blitzing on second and whatever. Come on, dude. Yeah. And I love blitz. I love blitzing. I love being aggressive. Not in that situation. You rush 2 and you drop everyone in coverage. Yes. I mean, I couldn't be more disappointed in Sean McDermott. And now I would be careful this offseason with Buffalo going into next year because that loss is going to sting.
Oh, yeah. They're going to be a dangerous team.
And now Dabble's in New York, Oh,
you think they're going to take a step back?
Look, I mean, we'll see what the rest of that division does because, I'm not sold on Mac Jones as a franchise quarterback. Not at all. Miami doesn't even have a coach.
Right.
So we'll see on that. And the Jets, I mean, they're the Jets. They suck. Jets. So, step back, I don't know about that. But, boy, oh, boy, I mean, I don't understand. And then you had all those Leslie Frazier interviews. They dried up pretty quick after that game.
Yeah.
No one's touching him.
And I'm sure we're going to get into it a little bit during the show, but what could possibly be leaving the NFC and going to the NFC could be a real dominant division or conference next year.
Yeah, it looks like the seas could be parting in the NFC. And if you look at a conference, to tease one of our topics later in the show, if you look at a conference where the top 2 quarterbacks are Dak Prescott and Matthew Stafford,
it's nuts.
I mean, that sounds as wide open as it can get in terms of if you can get yourself some stability at whether it's Jalen Hurts or you get a guy or you draft a guy, whatever, all of a sudden it looks a little more wide open for the Eagles and a lot of other teams as well.
Yeah, I 100% agree. We'll see that at the end, but like we said, sounds like Tom Brady's moving on. Sounds like Aaron Rodgers wants out. Sounds like Russ wants out. So it could be an interesting year for the NFC.
First comment, Pete Evans, brought to you by Gleasonsville, 6700 Mill Creek Road, 10% off A2D as the code. Check it out there. Great cheesesteak, great wings. Dine in, take out online. GleasonsBarandCheesesteaks.com. We got the championship Sundays. Still time to get your order in. Games don't start until 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock on the nightcap. And then, you got Super Bowl Sunday in a couple weeks here, and everybody parties on Super Bowl Sunday.
Big Sunday.
Monday should be a national holiday after the Super Bowl.
Yes, it should. Yes, it should. Most people take off.
The Super Bowl, I'll be off, but not everyone. I want to look out for everyone.
Workers go into work that day.
Yeah, I'm looking out for the people, so they don't have to use that vacation time. They just give them off.
Real fast.
It's entrenched into the culture, of America, the Super Bowl.
You said Pete gave the comment. So
Pete, he's the first. He's the first comment. Check Pete out on Birds of a Feather. Every Thursday night. He disagrees with the poll, so he's got the Chiefs today. Tommy Arnone's in the house. Maria McCabe is in the house. No one is winning. She agrees to the poll. Excuse me. No one is winning against Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
Chiefs' luck will run out this week. Look, this Chiefs defense, by the way, is not the 85 Bears, the 01 Ravens.
No, but they are better than what they've shown with Matthews being back there.
I mean, this is a middle-of-the-pack defense.
I agree.
But, that's how the game –
offense, it's a hell of a team.
And we forgot to mention in my rant at the top of the show, the Bengals just beat the Chiefs a couple weeks ago.
They did.
Albeit in Cincinnati, not in a championship setting, but they can bang with the Chiefs. Joe Burrow can bang with Mahomes. So
we'll see.
So, I mean, I'm not worried about Joe Burrow, the moment being too big for Joe Burrow at all. Bob Raymond, hope everyone got through the storm. Big time football today. Marie McCabe. Flyers need to get rid of Fletch. Loved the fans booing him yesterday during Yandel's ceremony for the NHL Ironman.
That was a shame. That was a shame.
something has to change in terms of the Philadelphia Flyers. Something.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's Fletcher. I just think it needs to be a whole shift mindset change with they have got to start getting real people outside of the organization in this franchise.
Yeah, it's the old boys club, you know.
Yeah.
Look at like Duke and UNC. Whenever any of their jobs open, they go right back to the well. It's got to be an alumni guy. It's got to be someone who understands the culture, which that's fine if you're Duke and UNC. Like a lot of Final Fours in contention, damn near every year.
Right.
Flyers, they're never in contention these days.
Yeah, it's been a while.
So it's a sad sight in South Philadelphia in terms of the Flyers. Bryce Blackwell, he's in the house. He's got the Rams and the Chiefs today.
Like those.
We'll get in the NFC game in a few minutes. I have no feel for that game whatsoever. I have no idea what's going to happen. Jake Friel, he's on Fan Friday. He's on a bunch of other shows too. Let's go Bengals. He agrees with the poll. Samuel Rowe, Jalen Hurts will be the best QB in the conference. Book it. Okay.
Oh, book it at the end of it. Okay.
Yeah, book it. From your mouth to God's ears.
Please.
Nothing would make me happier than to have stability at the quarterback situation, which the Eagles haven't had. Eagles haven't had since Carson Wentz.
I wouldn't.
Not Carson. I mean Donovan McNabb.
Yeah.
Carson Wentz was too short-lived. Since Donovan. Until the Flyers ownership changes, nothing will get better. Period. But you know,
it's a true statement.
They own the team.
Statement. Yeah, I hate it with Comcast. Yeah,
can't fire the owner.
Getting back to the NFL, let me ask you a question, Rob. Is there any love towards? Hey, what's up, Brad?
What up, guys?
Brad Quash.
Hey. What's happening?
We just talking NFL here.
Yeah, we're talking AFC Championship game.
Okay.
Brad, who's been joining us the last couple of weeks, a monster in Iowa, Philadelphia Eagles linebacker, bringing some credibility to the platform.
Some credit.
So we got two idiots and a total professional.
Good.
Like Three's Company. So, Brad, our poll question today is: the Cincinnati Bengals will upset the Kansas City Chiefs. A professional's view of the AFC Championship.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, so I think I love what they're doing. I'm a big Burrows fan, but I think the moment's going to be too big. I think the tension, from what I heard, and I was on with John, and I talked to Jonathan Hayes, a friend of mine, and he actually played with Cincy, coached at Cincy. I think they're going to be tight. And I think the coaching staff is going to resonate that down to Joe Burrows, and then they're going to walk into a buzzsaw at Kansas City. And Andy's been there forever. I mean, they're a veteran team, and they know what it takes to win. So I think I hope it's a good game, but I think Kansas City's going to give them a whooping.
I'm with you, and my answer was the exact same answer you just gave. I added to the usually how this league works and how professional sports work is the young up-and-coming guy, Joe Burrow in this case, usually has to take one in the chin.
Yeah, you got to pop your chair. You got exactly.
Before he gets crowned.
Totally agree.
And
not only that, but the coaching staff, everyone on the team, they got to get there and know what it feels like to lose there, and then it gives that motivation off the off season and to work out. Hey, let's get back to the next level. So.
All right, so Brad, as a player who played, big time Big Ten football at Iowa, obviously played in the league with our Philadelphia Eagles. The Bengals, they just beat the Chiefs a couple weeks ago. Dramatic comeback fashion, albeit not a championship setting, not a playoff game, and it was in Cincinnati as opposed to being in Arrowhead. Like, can the Bengals latch onto that, or is that meaningless?
No, so what you do is you basically re-scout and reevaluate offensive, defensive, special teams. So you go back to the film and check what worked, what didn't work, and know that they're going to make adjustments. Right. So it's kind of it's a chess game. I move my pawn, I'm moving my king, and so you're reevaluating, scouting yourself. They have actually whole coaches that actually make sure that there's no trends that you're setting, and they'll look at the film and say, okay, here's what we did. They beat us in these different areas. We ran this type of scheme. And they'll change things. It'll be a completely different scheme. They'll try to capitalize on the weakness of both teams, Cincinnati and Kansas City, and hopefully the game plan, and then execute. It all comes down to execution.
Yeah, 100%.
And turnovers. No, you can't turn the ball over. Patrick's got to be 28 for 36 for 280, 320, and 2 touchdowns.
He will be. I'm not worried about Patrick.
So as a linebacker, like what can you do against Patrick Mahomes?
Well, in this modern day, I mean, like Mike linebacker. I played Mike. Mike linebackers are obsolete because of the personnel. Right. I mean, everyone's running 11 personnel, 10. 1 running back, no tight ends, wide receivers, and basically the whole concept of the athletic tight end is to find the weakness, and the weakness has always been a strong safety that can't run or a middle linebacker that would cover a tight end. These tight ends are like wide receivers now. They're so athletic, and so it's always getting a mismatch on a defender, and that's what they look for. But I don't know how you would stop him. To be honest with you, he's so good.
You don't.
You don't.
There's no stopping Travis Kelce.
Yeah, what they're in the meetings. The coordinators listen. Slow him down. Let's kind of slow him down.
Frank Besby, he's in the house. He disagrees with the poll. He's got the Chiefs marching on. Yeah. So, Brad, what do the Bengals have to do to pull this upset off? We mentioned no turnovers.
Yeah, so they're gonna have to. I would try to run the ball and control. The best defense is keeping Patrick on the bench. So shorten the game, and then no mistakes. They can't turn the ball over on special teams. Win the field position game, and then just make plays when you have to. And if they he's going to move the ball up and down the field, just try to keep them in field goals.
Yeah.
And that's hopefully that's the only way you're going to beat them.
Now, am I crazy for saying that I think the Bengals have an advantage in terms of matching up, like Chiefs defense versus Bengals defense? Is that crazy to say that I think the Bengals defense is better than the Chiefs defense?
No, I would agree with you. I would agree with that. That's not crazy. I would agree with that. I would give that slight edge to Cincy, their defense.
Pretty good. A lot of like 1 year free agent veteran guys. It really shored up that side of the ball. And the Chiefs defense, Matthew looks like he's going to play. He left, with a concussion, which also might have led to Josh Allen being able to make some plays against the Chiefs. But the Chiefs, they don't have Chris Jones in the middle. He's a stud. But past that, you have the Honey Badger on the back end. But past that, I see a lot of averageness on the Chiefs defense. I think Taylor is a really good coach. Look, I'm all on the Bengals today. I think.
Yeah. So it's funny you say that. Right now everybody's banged up, so it's everyone's you're hurt. You don't want to play, and it's cold, and so. But I that's the problem with the NFL is with the salary cap is that you just hit the nail on the head. Average people, because you spend so much money on the offensive side of the ball with a quarterback or a marquee guy, you have to have first, second year players on their first contract. You can't go spend money. There's no money. And
every team has average.
It's and that's why it's so important to have and I think the Chiefs are one of the best run organizations is to have a good scouting department. That's where your money is, because you can keep these guys first rounders. You're on a 5-year contract and 4-year deal. So that's how you build a team through the draft.
Yeah. Andy Reid hits home runs every single draft.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah. And I was, before Brad, you hopped in, I was asking Rob a question. I want to, follow that up right now. Is there any, I know Cincinnati is the darling team right now, but here in Philadelphia, do we not want to root for Andy Reid? I mean, do we not love this guy anymore? Is that going out the window now?
Listen, I'm not, I've been out here since 92. I'm not a Philly guy, and I still scratch my head. I don't understand the Mummers. I don't understand some of the hatred towards people. Like, they're passionate here.
I just Andy Reid's the best coach in our franchise history.
You would think that all the good things he did with the Birds that we want success with them. They have to do the best. But some people are crazy, man.
Yeah, I don't have any animosity towards
him. No, he's a good man.
You don't root for him just for that, though, Rob?
No, I don't. I'm not gonna go out. I'm not gonna not root against Andy Reid because he never got it done here, but I'm also not going to go out of my way to cheer for Andy Reid because he was the coach here. I'm just going to look at it and say what I think. Like,
yeah, you're going to watch the game and just hopefully it's like last weekend.
Like disdain or praise. Like, look, Andy Reid had great. It was time for him to go. I still maintain that he was the best coach. He was here for 20 years, whatever it was, and he had some great moments and he had some egg on his face sometimes. And boy, I'm more likely to go out of my way to show disdain for Donovan McNabb because I think that Super Bowl in 2004 was right there for the Eagles and T.O. and the whole thing. And McNabb just turned the ball over 3 times. And some people say he threw up. Some people say he didn't throw up. I don't know what happened.
Hold on. So listen, you know what? I was down there for that one. And he
threw up.
And I know. He was in lousy shape.
He threw up,
and I know guys.
And
two of my buddies were on the line, offensive line, protecting them, and they,
he threw up. So and then I hear reports from
he couldn't even talk to even
catch his breath. That's what I heard.
He couldn't catch his breath
had to get the plays.
Yeah, he couldn't even talk.
I also heard
from crazy.
And then I also I don't want to bury McNabb. He's the best quarterback we've ever had in this city. We haven't had stability at the quarterback position, but then. You hear certain fans that were down in Jacksonville somewhere like, yeah, I saw Donovan at 2:30 in the morning pounding Martinez throwing up on the field. So, I'm much more likely to have disdain for Donovan than I am for Andy Reid. But, that's Andy Reid, what did he get fired in 2010, I think?
Something
off the
like
top
that.
of my head. That's 12 years ago. I really have to. That's not healthy to hold a grudge for 12 years against a great football coach, a great person.
He's a good guy. Listen, he's a good man and went through a bunch of tragedies in his family. He's a good man.
So I'm not into the I don't get it. Grow up, get over it. They didn't win. You had deep January football, pretty much this whole time here.
Every year.
So get over it. All right, let's move on to the NFC side of things. So I'm Bengals, you two are Chiefs.
Yeah.
So we have some split. So there's not a unanimous selection yet. I doubt that we're going to have a unanimous selection on the NFC game. Rams, Niners, McVay, Shanahan.
What's the point spread on that game? What's the spread?
3.5. I saw 3.5.
It's closer to my
So basically it's a pick on
3.5
because it's a
home
game for them. Yeah, home. Okay.
So you have the Rams aspect where the Rams are this talented superstar, all pro guys all over the field. And then you have the Niners, little old Jimmy G, the little engine that could, just a great roster throughout. They're not going to wow you. They're not going to be flashy.
Well, they run the ball and play good defense.
But they're going to do all the little things to help you win. And it's just such a clash in styles. And by the way, for all the talent the Rams have, they haven't beat the 49ers in 6 tries.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have their number. You're right.
I don't know where I'm going on this one.
Well, Kittle's George has to have a big game. He's going to be instrumental of because Jimmy G's going to be running for his life. They're going to bring a bunch of stuff and then Kittle. It will be a tough. He's a tough matchup. So that's
your Iowa. That's your Iowa brethren there. So
he's my Iowa guy. He's a good kid.
A tight end powerhouse there in the Midwest.
Yeah, well, that's what
Kittle,
I was.
You got.
I was on with Jonathan Hayes, and he, and we were talking, and he's kind of started the whole tight end initiative, and he was a second rounder, played 12 years in the league, and every year there's a first rounder tight end getting drafted out of Iowa.
Every year.
Yeah.
You guys had 2 of them a couple of years ago, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Yep.
So, John, what do you think about the NFC game?
I'm a Rams guy. I think the spread is lower than what it should be.
You like Rams or?
I like the Niners.
Oh,
likes the Niners.
My son likes the Niners.
Jimmy the Greek in the background area. He likes the
Niners. He's a good handicapper.
I don't see it. I just don't see the Niners pulling this one out. Like you said, I think Jimmy G is going to get beat up today.
He's going to get beat up.
I think he's going to get beat up today.
Aaron Donald's going to
be getting a little gun shy towards the end of the game. And when Jimmy G gets gun shy, he just throws it up for Pickens. I think that's what's going to happen today.
But if Jimmy G, he hasn't thrown a touchdown pass all postseason, isn't he due for a good game? I know it's good defense.
I don't think
Look,
he does.
you know you have talent around them. You know you're going to have a great game plan. Brad just mentioned George Kittle. Deebo Samuel, jack of all trades, terrific player. You got a great line.
And I think Shanahan's going to – he knows that. I mean, that's what he's brilliant. He knows they're going to bring pressure. They're going to be in a lot of two-deep coverage. So he's going to utilize Kittle. Kittle won't be running long routes because he won't have time to run the seam routes. So, he's going to capitalize. And these two coaches are probably two of the youngest, best-minded NFL guys out there. These two coaches.
They are.
So one coach, Kyle Shanahan, beats the other's brains in on a regular basis, 6 straight wins.
Yeah. I mean, he's got his number.
And, I'm from Philadelphia. I'm a sucker for the underdog. Oh, Jimmy G, I stink. Here's me being Jimmy G. Oh, I stink. Okay, I'm 36-15 as a starter. I'm in 2 out of 3 years. I'm in the NFC Championship game. Runner-up to Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs in a Super Bowl. I bang porn stars. I make a lot of money. I suck. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Go watch this.
Jimmy G.
That's my mentality.
He's got GQ looks, and he's got a $100 million in his bank account.
$100 million. Porn stars. By the way, I don't have to be. I'm Jimmy G. I don't have to be Patrick Mahomes today.
No.
I have Deebo Samuel. I have Kittle. I have a great line, and my defense just beat the Green Bay Packers and Aaron Rodgers. I didn't do jack shit. I didn't even score a touchdown.
So I think you hit the nail on the head. Shanahan's going to get them like that attitude. They're going to come in, hey guys, cocky, but not, hey, we're the underdog. No one's picking us, and just have that era about them, that kind of that Belichick. We got our shit together, and I think the Rams, they're going to be tight. Their ass is going to be tight because they're supposed to win.
They do have the 49ers do put together a good resume that says, hey, we have now done this as underdogs for a long time.
Yep.
No one thinks we are talented enough to win this game. We win by grit. We win by punching people in the face. Let's go show them that we can match, talent for talent with this team.
Now, I don't know. I met Shanahan's dad, but I never met Kyle. But I don't know if he's a rah guy or kind of win one for the Gipper. I don't know what kind of a personality he is.
I think he's got a quiet confidence about him.
He does.
Like Kyle Shanahan. I don't think he can.
McVay's crazy. I think
McVay, you can see his emotions.
He gets jacked up, and
when
he nerds out and he calls a really good play and he goes over, high fives, runs down the field, the whole thing. Kyle Shanahan doesn't. Kyle Shanahan I know what I have to do. I have my plan. We're going to execute the plan, and we're going to be right there. So I think I might have just talked myself into picking the Niners.
Are you picking the Niners, taking the points?
I don't know yet, Brad. We're talking it out, and I'm formulating my opinion.
Listen, I really like Kansas City because I think the stage is going to be too big. And I just think that's, take the favorite there. And then the second game, I don't know. Nick, what do you think?
I'm really not buying this narrative that because Joe Burrow is the first time in the AFC title game that he's going to be overwhelmed and overmatched. I don't think the spot is too big.
I don't think it's Joe Burrow's. I think it's just the organization as a whole. I just think that Joe Burrows is cool. What these kids that go at the thumb I got ice paint. I had to ask what that was. What the hell is that? But
not now. When?
Yeah, but I don't.
There, you might as well win. That's my mentality with the AFC game.
Yeah,
but and then you have the other. So getting back to the NFC game, I just made a great case, and I think I don't know who I'm picking, but you have Stafford on the other side, who's never even sniffed an NFC Championship.
He'll shit the bed. I mean, he can't win a big game.
You think so?
I don't buy that at all either. He was in Detroit, Brad. Come on.
He's never been in one to win. This is his biggest moment of
his
whole life.
By the way, last week was a pretty big spot for Matt Stafford, and Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Tom Brady said,
"Wow, Tom Brady retired
against in the NFC." No,
Did he retire yet?
Yeah. He's pissed because he wanted to do it on his own terms.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That's what we were talking about.
He's pissed. He's pissed.
But Stafford, Odell Beckham just loves LA. Has been having great games for him. Cooper Kupp,
Aaron Donald, he's gonna be crazy. You're not gonna be able to block him.
Yeah.
Not going to be able to block him tonight. He's going
I
to
think
go.
Aaron Donald and Von Miller has a huge game.
Yeah.
Von Miller, it's just an embarrassment of talent, a balance of riches over there in Los Angeles. So, Johnny, it sounds like you're on the
Which
Rams.
way are you going?
I'm on the Rams, and I'm on the Rams big. I think this is kind of a walk-home type of game where Stafford maybe gets the seat halfway through the fourth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like when Ralphie beats up Scott Farkas in the Christmas Story.
Yes.
It's just kind of one of them where
it's just a walk. Yep.
Well, I hope not, because that would be not entertaining. And
I don't know. Like you got, I was on another show and we were talking questions. It was like a Q&A, but people don't realize that the NFL, everybody makes the same amount of money for this week for playoffs.
Right.
But, yeah. Your contract's over in 18 weeks, and then the NFL pays you your playoff money. So you got your 53rd guy in the roster making, the league minimum 450 is making the same amount. Game check is
isn't it
crazy?
Isn't it 60 grand for everyone?
I think that it's different levels that it goes up. Yeah,
okay.
Like the wild card was a certain level.
Right.
Wild card when I was playing, I think was like 7,500 for the game, and then it went up to 12,500 or something. And then I think if you win the Super Bowl, I think it's about 300 grand in a ring.
Nice.
That ring is probably worth 3 times 300 grand.
Yeah, the ring's worth something. And then in the Super Bowl, and it's like his friends of mine that played in it, they make about they buy like 40 or 50 tickets they're able to buy. So then they keep 10 of them for the family. Then they end up scalping the other 30 for
make
a crazy amount of money. Because they're great seats.
Yep.
It's a shame how much Super Bowl tickets and big time sporting events are these days.
It's terrible.
Common people.
Yeah, you can't go. There's not.
You can't go.
You can't go. It's ridiculous. Yeah, it does stink.
So, Brad.
Yeah.
NFC Championship game. How do you see this one?
Oh, the more I talk, the more I go back and forth.
Me too.
I think I'm going to take the home, lay the points.
I already got a road dog in Cincinnati that I'm fairly confident in.
You think they outright win though? You're not even taking
playoffs, but yeah.
Yeah, I think they have if I'm a gambler, am I taking it money line? No.
Okay.
But if they don't win, they're going to be right there, and that 7-point spread is really juicy. But I think look. You look at the over-under. This is how I look at it as better, the AFC game. You get over-under 54.5, 55, whatever it is, depending on your book.
What's the weather?
That's a high total, especially in a championship setting.
Yeah.
Probably going to be cold. I haven't heard anything with great weather. So if I get a high total with a dog paired with a dog that can score, I'm over that. I'm on that all day.
Right.
All day. Because you can backdoor cover, you could win the game outright. You got to be able to score, and the Bengals can score. So I love the Bengals +7, 7.5, whatever it is. And then I think that a little money line sprinkle is appropriate here.
Well, I think if you go Bengals, you go Bengals over, Kansas City under.
Correct. That's where I'm going. KC.
That's what you would do.
I'm going KC under.
No, I bet the under in the Bills Chiefs last week.
It was looking good until the last 2 minutes.
Yeah, until Sean McDermott forgot how to coach football.
Yeah,
really.
He had a brain fart, man.
Well, that's another one, right? There it is, a big moment, first time guy, and he paid for it. Yeah. I think that's just what happens in professional sports.
All you have to do is use 10% of your brain in the last 13 seconds.
But I scratch my head all the time because you have your staff is so big. You got analytical guys. You got 7 to 8 guys in the box watching. Yeah. You got a guy, personnel groupings. We know, they know. And there's so many good consultants and coaches around you to help you navigate through game situations.
But Brad, at one point does McDermott say, "Okay, there's 13 seconds left. We got to kick off. I don't care what analytics coach A says or strategic coach B says. Hey, you go over your kicker, Tyler Bass, you grab him by the face mask, and you tell them, hey, if you don't squib this down the field, you're cut. You'll never play for me again. Go squib kick the ball. It stops with McDermott. He's the head coach.
Yeah.
So for him to have that big of a brain fart, I don't care how many coaches you have.
Yeah, so it goes back and forth. He definitely should have squid kicked it, but that conversation going on up in the box with the special team coordinator, the special team assistant. Hey, we're going to score here. We're going to score. What are we doing? And that's all. They're already hatching that out. They're already like 3 steps ahead. So,
Brett, did the Bills last week? Did they just count their chickens before they hatched? Josh Allen threw the touchdowns with 13 seconds, so they thought that they're not going to go all this way in this amount of time. Like, we won the game. We're going to the AFC title game.
I think that happened.
And that's a direct reflection of the head
I think
coach.
they did the right thing. I wouldn't have squibbed it either. I wouldn't have kicked it deep, though. I would have made it a return. But I'm not risking a squib and a bad bounce and the ball going out of bounds.
Okay.
I wouldn't have
Either way, you're kicking. You don't kick the ball out of bounds, so no time runs off the clock. Well, you want to kick it real high.
That's the thing.
You can't kick it real high.
And then it comes out to the 25. That's the problem.
You can fair catch a kickoff, so no time runs off as well. So you've got to put that ball on the ground. And look, Tyler Bass is a good kicker. Like, he's good enough to squib it and not have it go out of bounds.
You go to him and say, listen, we don't want to squib kick, but don't kick it out of the end zone because then no time comes off. So kick. So, hey, you kick 100%, kick it 70%.
Exactly. Exactly. That's where I was.
5 seconds come off at least for a return.
Yeah, of course, even more than that. So I'm curious to see if they had that conversation. Where the air was? What did the coach? Was it conveyed? Not conveyed, or the player dropped the ball? Who made the mistake?
I think it's on the player. I would assume McDermott told him, "Hey, don't kick it through the end zone.
Yeah,
let him return it." And the player just didn't execute. It happens all the time.
Well,
why would you assume that? Could that have happened? Yeah, why would you assume that? Especially the way they play defense.
I would assume
in the last
because
13
that's
seconds.
the right play. Everyone knew that's what you're supposed to do, right? I would assume the coaching staff knows that's what you're supposed to do.
Why you blitz? Why are you? You're supposed to be a defensive mastermind, right?
Yeah,
you're defensive mastermind. You're a defensive coach, right? Right? You're a defensive guy. Why are you blitzing Patrick Mahomes on second down?
The last play of the game.
Last play of the game. He gets the seam route to, I think it was Kelce.
Yeah.
And that's it. This is in regulation.
I've been in multiple meetings. Like, okay, do we bring pressure? Do we run cover 2 and keep everything in front of us? Do we kind of roll up the corner? Do we kind of have help over the top on their number one receiver? I mean, all these things. You're a genius if it works, and if it doesn't work, you're a bum. I mean,
because there is a theory to blitzing and saying, "Hey, they got to get 32 yards or whatever it was. If we blitz them, they don't have enough time to get downfield."
Yeah. So if you play prevent with Patrick and you give him time, you can't cover that long. So you got to put pressure on him.
So I do get it. I personally would have sat back in coverage, but I do understand the premise of getting there before you let them get down the field.
But if you're sitting there in coverage, like the longer Patrick Mahomes stands there in the pocket waiting for Jerick McKinnon, Kelce, Hill to find that soft spot in your zone, the more time's running off the clock.
Yeah.
True. Yeah.
There's only 13 seconds left.
In those situations, what I like is not maybe blitzing or whatever, but bringing stunts, line stunts. So I'm bringing pressure like a Tex or a Ted, they call it. So I'm bringing pressure from an end that comes around normally. So it's just so that it screws up the offensive line.
You hope there's a miss block.
Yeah, like you're changing something up that way. That's how I would bring pressure.
Bob Brinkman, the Niners won with their special teams versus the Pack. The Rams have too many players on the D. Rams roll. Don Lovato, he's checking us out on YouTube. He's got the Niners and the Bengals. Interesting, both dogs.
There you go.
Don Lovato, Kansas City Chiefs couldn't cheat in last year's Super Bowl. That's why they lost. When did the Kansas City Chiefs cheat?
It's the cheating, yeah.
He's a hater.
Elaborate the cheating there.
See how they cheat.
They had Patrick Mahomes. They were good. I mean,
hey, so
they couldn't block last Super Bowl.
Speaking of cheating with Brady retiring, the ball. What do you think?
Yeah,
Look, I stopped hating Tom Brady years ago.
So do I.
Years ago.
So even when they said he cheated with the debate, what did he do? Went out and won a Super Bowl. So I think the guy's the best to ever play the game.
And give me a break. Deflating the footballs. Really?
No, that does affect a lot.
It does affect,
as a quarterback in high school, I wanted to play with a smaller ball all the time too. You throw it further,
well, they
get a ton of spiral.
They have. That's why everyone has their own ball. There's a kicking ball and a offensive ball.
Right.
So there's different balls, but
I'm not buying it.
I know.
I think garbage like that goes on every sideline every week in the NFL. It's called gamesmanship. Did Tom Brady get caught? Yeah, but if you audited every NFL team, I mean, it's part of your job, Brad, to an extent, is to audit.
It's the same thing with colleges, too. You don't think there's recruiting conspiracies in every single college?
Yeah, and then you want to get to
that's a whole different podcast. I could talk about my recruiting process. That's a whole different thing.
I heard some of those on the golf course.
And then you get the sign stealing thing against the Eagles in 2004.
Well, that's the thing. So I'll tell you a story. So half the time I'm on the field, and then I go up to the press box, and where I sit, like on the 20-yard line, all next to me are all NFL guys, and they're all NFL scouts. They're not there looking at the plays, and they're looking at personnel groupings. Right. They're trying to get signs. They're trying to get if they can read anything. So it's all like getting an edge.
Any type of advantage.
Yeah. If there may be a special a play they're putting in, that's what they're trying to look for.
And Greg Malakovic, he's in the house. He agrees to the poll. He's got the Bengals today.
Okay.
He's with Team Brinkman. He's on the Bengals. Not sure that's the team you want to be on picking these games, but I mean, me and Greg, we're on the Bengals. Don Lovato holding. They did a lot of holding, and the refs weren't making the calls. Last Super Bowl, refs were making the calls against the Chiefs.
Okay.
I don't understand what your animosity is towards the Chiefs. You're not even the Eagles. I assume you're an Eagles fan, but I guess you could not be. But I mean, holding happen. How often does holding happen, Brad?
Every play. They hold every play. That's what every play they hold.
I mean,
and that's why I got friends that are umpires and refs in the NFL, and it's such a tough call with interference and holding. They hold every play. So when do you call it and when don't you call it? It's hard.
The important times.
They hold every play they hold.
So you want to look at it. I mean, the Chiefs in last year's Super Bowl, I mean, they couldn't block. Their offensive line was in shambles, and the Bucs had a really good front seven, and they disrupted Mahomes, and Brady got his 7th Super Bowl. So
let me ask you a question. Now it looks like Brady's retiring. Is Patrick Mahomes now the GOAT of the NFL? Are we willing to give him that right now?
He's the best. I mean, he's the best. I think he's the best quarterback in the NFL.
Right now.
Yeah. I'd say Patrick's the best one. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, he was the best. I mean, he's been the best quarterback in the league for the last couple of years.
Yeah, I would say he would be. And then I would get, I love the kid from Buffalo. I mean, he's I like him.
Yeah.
He's special. I mean, there's some great ones, really.
And I'm always the one. Listen, he's got Hill, he's got Kelce. He's got a ton of talent around him, Mahomes. I always want to see when that contract hits and that talent gets depleted. Is he going to be the same guy? Is he going to be the Tom Brady that makes everyone else around you who is not that talented better?
Well,
can Patrick Mahomes do that?
That's a great statement because if people don't understand it, he's not the best. I said, do you know what he won with the shit around him? I mean, like
all-star level everywhere.
I think he might have had maybe Gronk's a Pro Bowler. Hernandez was at the time. Moss was the 1 year.
They didn't even win that year.
Nothing.
They lost to the Giants that year.
I mean,
who turns Wes Welker, Julian Edelman into potential all-stars every single year? Like that.
Yeah.
How about even going further back than that? Like Troy Brown, David Givens, Deion Branch. You didn't do a darn thing in this league without Tom Brady.
Right.
Like Ernie Cronwell or whoever the heck his tight end was before they found Gronk. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah,
I think Mahomes is that dude. I think he's going to be fine.
You think he can be?
I mean, John, look at the way the NFL teams structure their rosters. Like, the top priority is not I mean, offensive line is important, but defense is just like have a defense good enough to not.
Right. It seems like it's going that way.
So, like,
yeah.
you have Patrick Mahomes. It's not like give him a bunch of trash like the Eagles did with McNabb and be strong on defense and on the line.
But there's two positions. You need the 9 technique rush end to put pressure on the Patrick Mahomes. So those guys are special and they don't grow on tree. And you need a lockdown corner that can play man up and take the whole zone and take that number 1 receiver out of the picture. So those two guys are valuable on defense. Everyone else.
I'll add one more. You do need a leader, whether that is a safety or a linebacker. I don't care. You do need a knowledgeable leader that can recognize formations.
Your leader is your Mike linebacker. I mean, he's calling formation. Your leader is the center. The offensive line calling out. Where the line.
I think if you have those and the lockdown corner and the edge rusher, you're kind of an elite defense in this league right now.
Yeah.
So, like, to answer your question, when that contract hits with Patrick Mahomes, whenever that is, like the money, like Kelce
next year, I believe.
Yeah, it is.
Kelce's not going anywhere. They're going to find the money for him.
Okay.
Tyreek Hill's not going anywhere. They're going to find the money for him. They have their running backs that are cheap. They have a significant amount of money wrapped up in their offensive line because they went out in free agency last year and really addressed it, which is probably the reason why you're in this position.
Yeah, I'm going towards more of the guys like Pringle, who would be a number 2 receiver for us.
Yeah, but Brian Pringle,
you say there's money. There's going to be money there. There's not money there. And what happens in the league, and that's why Brady was so successful. You got to give the team a hometown discount. Like you got to be because especially if they win again this year. They got their rings now. They got their old lady. They got their wives going. Go get paid. Let's go get paid.
Right.
Let's go get paid. What you're not making money here. Let's go get money.
Go to the biggest contract.
So once you get your ring, now you got to take care of your family.
Yeah.
So it's hard to keep guys around.
To John's point, like can you win a Super Bowl without Brian Pringle?
No, yes. I'm just saying. Listen, he's a hell of a number 4 receiver, right? I just don't think you're going to have when his contract comes up. You're losing that guy, right?
Yeah.
Or you're going to replace him with another talent. Like I don't think you can.
You can
Brian
get
Pringle in the 5th round of the draft.
Yeah, easily. You can replace him easily.
Well, I hear you. I get it, but he's a guy who produces. I don't know if you're going to always find a guy like that. Have the Eagles found a guy like that? We can't even get a number 2.
Yeah, but
there's
no difference between Quez Watkins and Brian Pringle. One has Patrick Mahomes, who has a rocket for an arm, and one has stinky Jalen Hurts as their quarterback.
There's a guy
one makes you better.
Production.
Right?
There's a guy who gets production when he gets a chance, and a guy like Quez, what's he going to get you? 30 catches a year?
I don't know what Quez can get you because I have a quarterback who just stares at him running a wide open post route in a playoff game. I have no idea.
Guys, hence what I get back to my point. You're going to build around quarterback or the 2-3 positions. That's why I spend as much money the GM and scouting in the draft. That's how you grow the Super Bowl. That's how you go because you got these guys. The first round is a 5-year contract, and then you have 4-year contracts round 2 to 7.
Yep.
You can't miss. You got to build your team through the draft.
I'm gonna bring up the Chiefs draft history right now.
Yeah, I feel like it's been good.
What do we want? We want 2021 draft picks.
Hill's technically still on a rookie deal, right?
Yeah.
So he's got to get paid. I just don't know.
That's
not where they're going to skimp, though. That's not where you skimp in today's NFL.
You're right. You're 100% correct.
And every GM and president has different philosophies, and you see these new young guys are getting hired. You know, not a ounce of like old school football, but they're bean counters. They're whizzes with a cap. So they, that's what they do.
I always look towards Russell Wilson is the figurehead for my argument. Is he was great under his rookie contract. They had a great running game. They had the best offensive line for 3 years in a row. when he got that money and that went into effect, they had to cut those offensive linemen.
Exactly.
They had to trade those offensive linemen. They had to free up some money somewhere. And he's never been the same since then.
Yeah.
I don't – is Patrick Mahomes' talent good enough to offset the losing of the cap space that they're going to have? I don't know.
Yeah.
I know Brady was. I don't know if Mahomes is.
Okay, so 2021, the Chiefs picked Nick Bolton. They didn't have a first-round pick, I guess, because of the Mahomes trade. Something happened.
It's been a good pick so far. Bolton's been good.
Nick Bolton, linebacker. Creed Humphrey, who I believe went to the Pro Bowl as a rookie.
Yeah.
Joshua Candaho, Noah Gray, Cornell Powell, Trey Smith. So you got two there. In this and not first round picks.
Not
so
first
that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then let's look at 2020. See if I can get it up here real quick.
Are they? Brad? Do you consider the Chiefs right now the model franchise like we did the Patriots? 7 years ago.
Good question. The Hunt family. Yes, there's stability. I think it's a good organization. They're
the model franchise. I mean, listen, there's been good ones, right? The Steelers have always been good. The Patriots.
Yeah, the Rooney family is awesome, and
right.
3 coaches in their life. I mean, in their tenure, it's nuts. But
and the Saints have always been good.
Yeah, the Benson family. When the old man was running the team, the daughter took over now. Right. That's stable. And speaking of that, it'll be interesting what Sean Payton does, huh? How about that move? That's
shocking. Yeah.
Really shocking.
We're going to talk. We can get into the coaching carousel, but I have the 2020 picks for the Chiefs here as well. So they had this is the year after they won the Super Bowl. So last pick in the first round, Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Good pick.
Pretty average, honestly.
For a running back, he's good.
He can catch the ball and he does things Andy likes in the running back. But I mean,
but you can get him in the second, third round.
Easily,
that type of guy.
And then you got Willie Gay Jr., who I believe starts for them in the second round. And then Lucas Niang, L'Jarius Sneed, Mike, throwing guys. So that's 2 guys in so you got 4 guys in back-to-back drafts. I mean, I wouldn't say that's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
And they do have other guys. Like, most of their guys are still on their team, right? Like, Sneed's a contributor. Like, it's not like he doesn't contribute. Gay definitely is.
It's such a crap. It's really such a crapshoot, the draft. Getting there's some guys that are can't miss. They fit all they got all the tools. But you really build your offense, defensive line. Your tackles. The round 4, 5, 6, and 7 that maybe don't fit the profile exactly, that are good players and play for you for 10 years.
Yeah.
You're
going to see that with the Bengals are going to be the big team for me next in the offseason too. Is do they get the help? Which I think Joe Burrow needs is that offensive line. Do they spend the money or the draft capital that they have, whatever it is, to build that up, or are they going to go defense?
Well, I mean, you gave up 9 sacks in the divisional round. You were lucky to win that.
Yeah, they got to build around him. They have to.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't need receivers. You don't really need a tight end. So every asset is offensive line. Maybe you sign one, draft one, and then you address.
Yeah, their front office, Cincinnati, and I know we're talking to guys that they're not they draft the best available player. Like they're one of those guys.
Right.
Every draft board they scout everybody, like the best player no matter what position. Then they have different. Each position is rated. So it all depends the philosophy of the GM. Are we drafting need, best available? So
right.
But like if you're the Bengals and you have picks 28 through 32, one of those picks, and the best receiver, the best guy on your board is a receiver, like you pick him. I'm not buying that. So I think that's a cliche that general managers like to use. But like, okay, he's not our best player, but this is the third guy on our board. He plays tackle, and
Well, you got to outweigh best available and your needs.
And
your needs, and the quarterback is definitely a franchise quarterback. We got to protect him.
And maybe they do wide receiver too, because you don't know. I don't know. Is Boyd gone? Like, he's their number 3. Or do you value a slot receiver more than the offensive line? Maybe.
Look,
the
I
GM
wouldn't be changing much in terms of that. Uzuma at tight end, Chase, Boyd, Higgins. I wouldn't be trying to change that at all.
Right, but the
you got to
same
build
thing,
some continuity with Burrow.
If Boyd is a free agent, which I believe he is, I would assume he's going to get some decent money. Are the Bengals?
But there's
willing
no
to
way
give
they're
him
in
that?
salary cap hell over there because Ja'Marr Chase is on a rookie deal and Burrow is on a rookie deal.
Yep, exactly.
I hear you.
So
bring
their
back-
window.
you bring
We talk
back-
about
this
windows.
goes to my-
Cincinnati's window is the next 2 years to do
It's
that
big,
because he's
yeah,
on a rookie
yeah.
contract.
Yeah.
And then you have all these guys, like some of them have been there for a while, but they're like Howie Roseman type deals. They're like these 1-year guys, prove it
Right.
deals,
Yeah.
and they're stepping up and they're playing together and they're playing great team defense.
Yeah.
So like that's where you gotta really grab the bull by the horns if you're a GM, is when once you fill your cap. Oh, no one wants Steven Nelson. Well, he started on a playoff team last year. 1 year. All right, let's bring him in.
Yeah.
Guys like that. Let's get into some. I do want to get into some of this coaching carousel stuff because we've had a lot of news. Our coaching carousel is brought to you by FanUp, the best way to enjoy fantasy sports, daily NFL contests, and more. Win great prizes. Sign up today. A2D promo code $5,000, 5,000 point bonus. It's a $50 value, not $5,000 giveaway. But I mean, the coaching carousel is, and I think the Giants are monster winners.
I think they had a good pick. Yeah.
I think the Jacksonville Jaguars are monster winners, grabbing up Byron Leftwich.
Yes.
And then you have the Chicago Bears.
And the reason with the little give you a tidbit with the Jacksonville, because Urban Meyer was such a jerk off and he lost the locker room, and now you got Byron that played with the organization, and plus they respect him. He's got street
everyone
cred.
loves that guy.
They love him.
Everyone
They
loves
love him.
You see, I'll never forget the moment in Marshall. That was him, right? That got carried.
Yeah,
that was him. He's just a guy who will play through anything. He looks like he will do anything for his team. That's a guy I would love to lead me.
I love it too because he was with Brady for 2 years, and there's no way that Brady doesn't rub off on him a little bit.
Right.
And then he played for Jacksonville. He's a player, so he's going to get respect. It seems like he comes off as a great character guy, and that's what Jacksonville needs right now. They need to build a culture there. And, like Trevor Lawrence, what's he, like a top 5 guy in terms of like who would you want based on age and skill set and the whole thing and building your franchise?
Yeah, he's a franchise quarterback, absolutely.
Yep.
So you get him, and then you get the Giants. Now, I don't think the Giants have a franchise quarterback. Now, I'm not a Daniel Jones guy.
Not yet.
But I give all the Bills' success, at least a lot of the Bills' success, to Brian Daboll, the Giants head coach, in developing Josh. Because Sean McDermott, he didn't have a damn thing to do with that development of Josh Allen and that offense.
Nothing at all.
He
doesn't even go in offensive meeting. He's such a D guy.
I was just about to say that.
Yeah, that's evident.
Yeah.
So the development of that offense and the development of Josh Allen goes directly to Brian Daboll, in my opinion. He's going to be in New York. We'll see if they have 5 and 7 in the draft. If Brian Daboll likes Kenny Pickett or Willis or Corral, I mean, it'll be interesting to see the way the Giants go.
Yeah, it's interesting that with not only the head coaches getting fired, and a lot of GMs got fired this year. So
a lot of GMs got fired.
Yeah,
you don't see that too often. Yeah, a lot of combo GM and coach.
Because you can't bring a coach in and then hire the GM later because it's
right.
You got it's got to be. I would think you have to do the GM first and then bring in the coach and let the GM have some say so of who I'm kind of technically working.
Yeah, there's Matt Walsh. We're getting into the whole coaching carousel right now. Some of them have been filled, some of them haven't, and we're talking about it right now.
I'm looking. I'm curious about is Harbaugh, Jimmy, where he's going to go.
Well, he's the big chip
Michigan.
that's hanging over every team right now. I think no one's really going to make a move until he decides what he's doing.
Well, I think that he's going to flirt, and then he's going to be like, "I got this from the Dolphins, so like if you give me this at Michigan, I'll stay."
Yeah. Listen, I don't know. I don't think he's going to do that because he's a Michigan guy. If he wasn't a Michigan guy, he would have got fired 2 years ago because he was an All-American at
least.
Michigan. He beat Ohio State, took him to the Rose Bowl. But, they don't have patience at Michigan. And he took a pay cut with COVID. He had his rope was a little longer than normal coaches at Michigan. So, I don't think he doesn't go back there. He's
I think he's about to cash in, and that's usually what happens with a good
So
coach.
you both think he's going to the NFL?
Yeah, no, you know what? You know where he's going. I mean, one of my sources said he's going to Vegas.
I think the Raiders. I think
he's going to Vegas because one of my guys that was a scout, and he's going out there. He's going to be the GM, assistant GM, when they fired Matt.
I think he's going to do that.
Yep. So that's where he's going.
Okay. And then Nathaniel Hackett, he gets hired out in Denver. To me, I don't know how good of a coach Nathaniel Hackett is, but I think that's just a plea to Aaron Rodgers. Like, hey, you got your offensive coordinator.
It's funny. It's funny you say that. That's what that deal was already done.
Yep.
Like I'll come. You hire him, and then I'll come announce it. I'm going to Denver.
Not only Aaron Rodgers, I think Devontae Adams ends up trailing with them too. They both go there.
And they got John Elway making calls saying, "Come on, Aaron, come to my franchise."
He can use his stroke to get Rodgers.
Exactly.
So that seems
do
like
exactly what Peyton did. Will get you a Super Bowl. There you go.
Exactly.
And Peyton had good years in Denver, couple at least.
50 touchdowns one year. I believe,
he set the record. I think it was 55, and then Brady came in and he busted it up.
55? Yeah.
Something like that. A crazy amount. So we have that. And then you have the Chicago Bears, who just don't really seem to understand the direction of the league. I don't understand why Matt Eberflus, I think I'm pronouncing that right, defensive coordinator from the Indianapolis Colts. Look, he's probably a good coach. Colts usually have pretty good defense, but how on earth can you justify hiring a defensive head coach when you just spent all your capital? Like, you don't have a first-round pick because you got a guy you think you believe in is a franchise quarterback. And by the way, I believe he's a franchise quarterback too. I think the Jets I'm a big Fields guy. Yeah, I think the Jets and the Niners at the top of that draft, you're going to look down in 3, 4, 5 years and be like, how did I take Trey Lance over Fields? How did I take Zach Wilson over Fields? I don't get it. And then they hire a defensive guy. Like, Brad, are they just so stuck in their ways with the
listen, I grew up in Chicago. Defense? I grew up at Bears, the Super Bowl shuffle. I know people in the front office. They just have no direction. I mean, it's, McCaskey, it's, Hallis, the daughter of Hallis, she's still there, runs it. She doesn't run the team, but it's kind of old school still. And they just can't get their hands wrapped around the direction. Like, where are we going to go? You
said perfectly, Rob. Like you last year, you put all the direction into working this offense and getting it to where you need to be a contender, and then you change directions and hire a defensive coach. It just doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense at all.
I mean, we just spent like the first hour of the show talking about how it's an offensive league and you don't skimp on the offense. You kind of you get a great offense, top 10 offense to score 30 points a game.
And they did that, right? They moved up to get their guy. They did that with Fields.
Do they still have some work to do on that offense? Of course they do. They need a line. They need this, but tight end with some promise. But you were heading in that direction, and now you just with this hiring of the coach, you just throw that all away, in my opinion.
Yeah, you definitely take a step back.
Yeah. And then you get Fields, David Montgomery. I think he's a pretty good running back.
Yeah.
Darnell Mooney, pretty good receiver. Promising tight end, Cole Kmet. You still have guys on that defensive guy. Like, you still have like Khalil Mack's on that defense. Like, Eddie Jackson's on that defense. Like, they're not fair on the defensive side of the ball. But for the Bears to have this mentality that they're just going to out defense people when every big game is played in the 30s, it's just asinine to me. It's a terrible hire. It's just a terrible hire. I don't get it.
It's a terrible philosophy hire.
Yeah, it is. And that's a front office. They don't have any direction. That's evident.
And by the way, we just talked about Aaron Rodgers and how it's a perfect marriage in Denver. So if you're the Bears, without Aaron Rodgers in that division,
windows open up a little bit.
Yeah, Vikings stink.
The logjam opens up. Like all you got to do is be better than Kirk Cousins and the Minnesota Vikings, and you're get a home game in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And I'm going to hire Matt Eberflus, defensive coordinator from Indianapolis.
I think these guys. I was talking to one of my buddies, and when you go to these interviews, it's a younger generation either, and they're not football guys, I guess. And these younger coaches are coming in with PowerPoint presentation and analytics and data, and they woo the decision makers, and they're like, "Oh, this guy's a good guy."
Make him think that he's a genius.
It was a great hire. It was and because he's organized, and it's like, okay.
I mean, like look at all the hires over the past, let's say, 3 years.
At least all the big hires that are winning are all offensive.
Look, McVay, Shanahan, they're playing the NFC title game today. Zach Taylor, he's playing in the AFC Championship game today. Offensive guy. Nick Sirianni took a bunch of turds. Yeah. Let's be real about it. The Eagles, this is supposed to be a rebuilding year for the Eagles. He's got a turd quarterback who can't throw. He's got pretty good in the trenches, but past that, he's got nothing. Nick Sirianni, offensive guy. He's
They're all majority of them are offensive guys. You're right.
Dabble gets hired, offensive guy. Nathaniel Hackett gets hired, offensive guy.
They want offense. NFL wants 60 points a game. Offense, you
want
to score.
Yep.
You can't win a big game in this league unless you put up 30.
Yeah, and and look at the way they officiate. I mean, it's crazy. You can't touch them. It's
every rule is for the offensive players right now. Quarterback, wide receiver, everything is for the offensive players.
So you have Vegas is still an open vacancy. It seems like Brad, sounds like you have a little insider information that Harbaugh might be.
We'll be announcing in Vegas that Harbaugh will be the coach. Well, I'll get him to come to the show. All right,
that'd be awesome.
All right,
that would be awesome. I expect an hour interview with John Harbaugh on the rant booth right here when that does happen. But then Dolphins. That's a pretty good job down there in Miami.
Dolphins is a good job.
Really good job.
Yeah.
You have that open. I don't even know, because they were flirting with Dabble and he went to New York, so I don't know. And I know that Ross is their Michigan people.
Yep.
So maybe they're holding out for Harbaugh as well. But you get an offensive guy there too to work with Tua.
Yeah, but I don't think they're sold on Tua though.
Well, it sounds like the organization isn't, but
it sounds like Flores wasn't.
It seems like he's their guy.
I mean, you pick a guy third in the draft.
Should be your guy.
You should, right?
Yeah.
If you're not your guy, you shouldn't be picking him third in the draft. Right. I think Flores was like, "Yeah, you got to get me Deshaun Watson or one of these guys, or just fire me because I can't."
Yeah,
win.
that's an interesting thing. He must. So everyone's waiting for him to, the legal terms and how much his suspension is going to have to be, because he's definitely, a top 15 quarterback.
Oh, he's a top 5 quarterback in my opinion, I think.
Yeah.
Plus he's 26 years old. You got the Wilson's a little long, Rodgers 38, Wilson's 33.
And he's already inked up. He's already signed long term.
Yeah, but there must be a bunch of stuff that we don't know if no one's pulled the trigger yet on him,
True. Yeah.
Don 19, our resident Detroit resident. He doesn't want John Harbaugh to go anywhere. He's a big Michigan guy.
Okay.
I just don't think that Harbaugh psycho mentality is just the way to go in the pros anymore. These guys are soft today, Brad.
Well, they're soft. So Jimmy doesn't. He's not like that in the pros. In college,
right?
In college, he's like that. Because you're coaching student athletes that are 18 to 22 years old, and they listen to you. So he was like that at Michigan. But in the pros, they'll tell you go fuck yourself. Like, hey,
Well, there it is. Right there on the TV screen. Jim Harbaugh is interviewed with the Minnesota Vikings for their head coaching job.
Yeah. Vikings, you got to keep in mind, too, I think a guy like that, coming from college, big name, I think we talked a little bit about it before, Brad, is I think he wants the reins of the GM also.
He does.
He wants the power. And there's only a couple franchises that can offer that.
And the Vikings are one of them because they fired Rick. And they got rid of the whole coaching staff. So he can. That's why he's interviewing them.
Brad, they hired an Eagles executive who's the GM there now.
I know. So.
Oh, is he the GM there?
I believe it was the GM because we got another guy in Chicago from our. No, they hired an Eagles executive. I'm pretty sure. Maybe Ralphie can check on it for us backstage. But the Bears hired someone from our staff to be the assistant GM.
Okay.
So our front office guys are good. That the Bears want him 10,000% positive on. He's going to be their assistant GM, whatever his name is. But the Vikings have a GM now that looks like they're moving in on Harbaugh. That's a job too.
Yeah.
Look, the thing with Harbaugh with me is like you're a quarterback, right?
Yep.
You played at quarterback. You were a decent quarterback, but like you never really developed a quarterback in the pros, and it took you still never really had a decent quarterback at Michigan. So like, what's the deal? What are we doing? It's like Mike Zimmer in Cincinnati, or not Cincinnati, in Minnesota. We just talked about. Mike Zimmer's this defensive guy, right?
Right.
You should have a good defense, but year after year, Minnesota falls short because their defense stinks. Huge red flag. That's the only thing I have to say about Harbaugh.
So let's talk about the development. Like head coaches, when you're a head coach, and that's get back to with at Andy's staff, Reid, Ben, like everyone knows, like everyone's like, why doesn't Eric get interviews and stuff?
Right.
Well, they know that he's the offensive coordinator in title, but Andy's calling the shots.
Correct.
So they wonder, really is he the just by title? That's it.
That's why Dabble gets hired, right?
Yes, exactly.
He's got a defensive guy. He's the offensive man, so he gets a job.
Yes.
And I do think we got to keep in mind that, yes, you're hiring a head coach because you want to win, but also a guy like Jim Harbaugh coming in is more for the splash and the ticket sales.
Well, absolutely.
That's because it's a lower team, right? They're not expected to win right away, but it's going to boost the bottom line for the owners too.
Of course it is. A head coach in the NFL is not. He's a CEO. Like he's a motivator, and especially if you don't have the reins to go make personnel decisions. You sit in on the table because you got all the senior games coming up in the combine and all that, and you're at that table with your GM. But if you don't have the say, head coaches get frustrated. Like, hey, I want to run this type of style, and you're giving me the guys I can't win with. So that's the problem. But
that's why I don't think he's leaving college unless it's a GM title with the head coach.
Oh, he's leaving collage. He's leaving this year.
No doubt. Being a head coach?
Yeah, he's going to be. He's not going back to Michigan. Yeah, okay. He's gone. Yeah.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
So you have the Saints open, you have the Texans open, you have the Minnesota Vikings open, and you have the Las Vegas Raiders open.
That's some good jobs.
The Texans, I think, is an interesting job. Depending on the Watson thing, Flores.
He's not playing there. Watson's not playing there.
Okay. Yeah, he's not going back there.
No,
right. He won't go back.
They don't want him. For whatever reason,
if they hire the coach that he wants, Mike Flores,
no,
maybe?
I don't think. I think
so.
The bridge is burnt between Deshaun Watson and ownership, and Deshaun Watson is not going to play there anymore.
Well, the thing that scares me with Deshaun in that the investigation, all the owners obviously talk, right? The 32 owners. So where there's smoke, there's fire. So no owner wants to bring on someone like that because the protesting and the uprise would be crazy. True. And so
if you win, that gets rid of that.
If he was cleared or wasn't that bad, he'd be on a team already. Okay. Because he's that good.
Okay.
So
but I mean, everyone talks about what a crumb he is, and he assaulted this person, and he touched this girl over here. But like, where's the legal action?
That's where I'm at. Where is the legal action?
Okay, if he did that stuff and he's guilty, lock his ass up, throw away the key because that's not okay.
I don't think that's.
But you can't. Yeah, it's not okay at all. I don't condone any of that. Right. But until he's officially charged, the NFL can't act on it.
But don't you think Goodell runs his own ship. He'll do whatever he wants. He's the little Napoleon there.
No, but he can't.
I mean, if this was so bad and so egregious, wouldn't like the DA down there be like, oh, okay, well, we got this person and we got pictures of this and we got a video of that. Let's charge him.
There must not be enough. There must not be enough evidence to charge him. Exactly right.
Well, you're innocent until proven guilty.
Exactly, but yeah, the NFL they don't want to. Everyone's waiting to see what happens.
Do you know, Brad? Him not playing this year, was that the Texans' call or is that the NFL call?
Both.
I don't think it was NFL, was it?
No, the Texans.
Deshaun Watson could have played every game.
Right?
Yeah, they just suspended him.
Right.
Until
the Texans just didn't
until,
the NFL has never said that he can't play this year.
So Deshaun Watson was technically a healthy scratch the entire year.
Correct. Okay.
And then the NFL
that's such
like
a
you
weird
said,
thing to me.
Like they, they come in. If you get a DUI, they suspend you.
Right.
I mean, they come in with the discipline, rules, and it's kind of unfair. But the league's the league; they can do whatever the heck they want.
Yeah.
Their code of conduct.
The shield, as they say.
You cannot ruin the machine.
Yeah.
Matt Walsh, even if Deshaun Watson is not charged criminally, the league can still probably suspend for violations.
Exactly.
Personal conduct. Remember Ezekiel Elliott? He was never charged with a crime, and I think he got 6 games a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
6 games.
Personal conduct. That's crazy.
More than a third of the season.
Yeah, missing
no charges.
6 game checks.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's steep.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, and that can give us a segue to something me and John were talking about prior to the show and a little bit before you joined us, Brad, is Tom Brady's retired.
No.
Aaron Rodgers looks like might be Denver bound. So you have
and
Sean
Russ
Payton.
is looking like he wants out, whether he goes AFC
if he
right?
goes AFC. I hope he comes to Philadelphia.
The old guard and the new guard moving in.
That's my
that's what we want.
I got my Howie binoculars out for Russell Wilson, man. I'm all in on Russell.
I would trade both first rounds because Russ he's got 3 years left, 3-4 years.
4 years.
These quarterbacks, Brad. These quarterbacks these days, you can't touch them. They play until they're 40.
So 4 years. Russ is how old? How old is it?
3, 4, 33.
Okay, so he's got 5, 6 years.
I can get to 37 with Russ.
Yeah,
I think that's totally realistic. So you got Brady out.
But you're going to spend all that money, right? So we talked about the cap. You're going to put all that money in Russ, and you're not ready to win now, though.
But what do you need? What do you need to do? Well, hold the phone on not ready to win now.
And this is the segue.
Hold the phone on that because a Green Bay Packers team without Aaron Rodgers, he goes to the AFC in Denver. Tom Brady sitting on his couch. He don't want to play anymore. The Saints are in disarray. So I'm looking at the NFC. The 2 top quarterbacks in the NFC are Matt Stafford and Dak Prescott. And that sounds like a wide open NFC to me. And if I add Russell Wilson with that NFC landscape, I'll go to battle against anyone in the NFC to vie for a Super Bowl.
Okay, for 4 years, like a 4-year window.
And I said it last.
And I got to get the guy. I got
to
line up the guy after Wilson.
Yeah, I would never trade any first-round picks for Russ, but now the way the league is aligning with all this information coming out, I might go get Russ and do it. Yeah.
See, the draft picks are like gold because of the cap. They're gold. It's gold. So
because they can be fool's gold.
Well,
if not used properly.
If you have a bad GM and make bad decisions,
you could make the best pick in the world, and he could go out in training camp in the first practice and tear his Achilles.
Yeah.
Cam Akers tore his Achilles last year. A second-round pick for the Rams looked like he was going to be all that in a bag of chips for McVay's offense. He goes out in the first mini camp, tours his Achilles. That's no fault of the Rams' talent evaluation. It's of no fault to Sean McVay and the way he likes to do things. It just doesn't work out. Now he's back now, and he still looks like a promising player, but that could have very easily gone the other way, especially with an Achilles. So if I can get a proven commodity like Russell Wilson and make a run at the NFC, what did we just talk about? You got to score 30 points in big games in the NFL these days. Right. You have no chance in hell to score 30 points in a playoff game with Jalen Hurts as your starting quarterback.
Agreed.
Sorry.
I agree. I agree. I looked at it a little bit differently. If we get Russ, I still thought that we were a 5-6 seed team, and I don't know if trading 2 first-rounders was worth that because that's what we were this year. Okay? So I didn't think the upgrade was worth sacrificing the future. But now you're telling me Green Bay is going to be eliminated, Tampa Bay is going to be eliminated maybe, because of their quarterback situations.
Yeah, you got to look at it that way.
The
NFC landscape completely changed.
Right, right. So maybe I do go out and make that big splash and get
Russ
and
what's
something.
like And then Brad Ryer hit it on the head in our best of clip. You can check it out on our various social medias. You're never going to get the best out of Devontae Smith and Dallas Goedert with Jalen Hurts as your quarterback. Devontae Smith is a 100-catch receiver with Russell Wilson.
Yeah,
100 catches in his sleep. Maybe by week 10, it'd be a special connection, you know. And then you have rumblings of Calvin Ridley. He's going to get traded. He wants to play with all these Bama guys, and Michael Thomas. It would shock me if the Saints are a disaster right now.
That's
holy smokes
franchise right
now.
And something happened there where Peyton. Sean left.
He looked around and his quarterbacks were Jameis Winston and Taysom Hill. And they're $60 million over the cap. So Sean Payton was like, you know what, I'm a little tired. A little tired.
Let me take a year off and then get the Dallas job.
Yeah, it's McCarthy. He's gonna mess that up.
He's got one more year
left.
So McCarthy, excuse me, they're gonna underachieve again next year. Because from a talent perspective, they should not be losing to the first round of the playoffs.
They could be the best team in football from talent perspective.
Yeah, they should not be losing.
It's always something there. So if they have all the pieces in place and it's another early exit, that ain't gonna fly in Jerry world.
No.
He's gonna be out. Sean Payton's gonna be in, and I think that's probably the most obvious statement ever.
Right.
That Sean Payton is going to be coaching the Dallas Cowboys. Not this year, but next year.
On coaches, what's the leeway now that we have on Nick Sirianni? I mean, if he has a bad year next year, are we?
It depends who the first off, no. 2 years, he's gets at least 3 from me.
Okay.
Especially after making the playoffs.
Yeah, everyone gets. First year, 3 years, probably maybe 4.
If Jalen Hurts is his quarterback next year, my disappointments about the Eagles' shortcomings will fall onto Jalen Hurts.
That's his call.
But it's Howie.
Are you okay? It's not. It's Howie and Jeffrey Lurie's call.
Howie.
Nick Sirianni has no say over this roster.
Okay. Right.
None.
All right.
So if Doug Peterson, who won a Super Bowl, didn't have any say,
exactly.
There ain't no way Nick Sirianni's going to have a say.
Okay.
That's probably why Jonathan Gannon is going to jump at the opportunity to potentially be a head coach. Because the Texans will probably give Gannon a seat at the table.
Right.
Nick Sirianni didn't have a seat at the table here.
It's so weird.
He's happy to be there,
franchise that way.
Yeah.
Well, it is, but it's a power thing.
Howie wants him to take the ingredients that he gives them and make chicken salad out of chicken shit.
Well, remember the famous saying with Parcells? If you want me to cook the meal, you let me go out and buy the food.
Yep. Right.
Now, can Sirianni go into the office and be like, "Hey, I need to be able to throw the ball a little more. Can you get me an X receiver? I have Devontae and Goddard who are great. Can you get me a guy, whether it's Ridley or Treylon Burks in the draft or whoever?"
Yeah, you just wonder how much say so they have when they do the big board. They're
apparently in Philadelphia they got none.
I don't think much here in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
I think Jeffrey has a tremendous amount of say. Jeffrey Lurie, our owner, has a tremendous amount of say in the first round pick,
which is too much.
With Howie.
Yeah, way too much for an owner. Way too much.
And I think that Howie runs the board.
Yeah,
I do. And Sirianni,
which is scary.
Yeah,
Sirianni is just
Question is,
I don't want to say a puppet
because you hear the stories of the scouting, head saying they didn't go with my guy. What do you even have these guys for? What are you paying them for if you're not even going to listen to what they want? It makes no sense.
Yeah, so every team's differently, and knowing guys that are in those positions. Some teams you have the GM as the ultimate say so. You got regional scouts, you got area scouts. And then some organizations, they scout the board, and then the position coach will go out and look at that college athlete and kind of rate him to see if he's going to do it. So it all depends, how the structure is within your organization.
But don't you hire a head scout for that reason? If the head scout says, "Hey, this is my guy. This is the guy that I have that we should be taking right now."
Yeah, but Johnny, the buck's got to stop somewhere.
Yeah,
I hear you.
So there's got to be someone at the top say, "Okay, you want this guy. these scouts over here want that guy. You guys want this guy. You guys think we have like
decision.
so someone's got to be at the top and have the iron fist and be like, okay, you like this guy, I like this guy. These guys might be there with our next pick because we have 3 first-round picks. We're picking this guy, and that's my name's on the report card.
Okay.
Not the head regional scout or the director of scouting. You couldn't even name those guys for the Eagles.
No, I can't. Yeah.
Nor could I, and I don't know, maybe Brad can because he's buddies with him. I don't know. But you know who the GM is.
Yep.
That's Howie Roseman.
Yeah.
So the Bucs got to stop somewhere. But, I mean, with the way the NFC landscape could change very quickly, how could you be against getting Russell Wilson?
Not now.
And then you have Howie. Like, let's say you trade 15 and 16 for Russell Wilson. You have your quarterback. Just push 19 back a couple times.
You could do that, or you could just take that offensive lineman that we probably are going to end up needing.
Or that. Howie's going to set a record, man. With 3 first-round picks, Howie Roseman going to set a record for trades.
He's going to get out of. He's not going to get. He'll either.
You don't think we're taking all 3?
No, I think he'll use it. I don't think they will be aggressive as we want them to be. I think he'll trade them and move down and get more draft picks, more draft capital. They call it.
Picks next year.
Yeah, that's what he'll do. So I'm going to trade my
maybe available.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what Howie's going to have up his sleeve, but
that's his MO.
He's going to he's geeking out hard. He's nerding out hard having 3 first rounds. Like, this is Christmas Day times a million for Howie Roseman having 3 picks in the first round.
And the pressure, you can't screw it up. I mean, because this could make or break the franchise.
This is the make or break. You have aligned your franchise the last 3 years for this draft. Everything you have done the last 3 years come down to this draft.
And they put all their commitment in Howie. I mean, so Howie's got some pressure on him. He better do so. He better do
all
something.
Right, we're already over time. It's after 1 o'clock. Let's get some official game picks here. I'll go first. I'm going to go Bengals 31, Chiefs 30. Bengals go to the Super Bowl. I'm going to reluctantly pick the Los Angeles Rams 24-21. I want Stafford to win. I think he's a terrific player. I think he's extremely underrated because of his time in Detroit. So I got the Rams and the Bengals in the Super Bowl. Confident about the Bengals. I think they're going to do it. I really do. And very reluctant about the Rams.
Okay. Good picks.
You want to go next, bro?
Okay. So here's my picks. Kansas City 34, Bengals 21.
Okay.
Kansas City winning. Rams 28, Niners 24. With the Rams and Kansas City in the Super Bowl.
Very nice.
Rams and Kansas City in the Super Bowl. I'll guarantee myself money.
And a home game for them.
I have futures bets on both the Chiefs and the Rams to win the Super Bowl from the beginning of the season. So that matchup would guarantee me a cash.
Really?
Yeah.
It's a good bet.
I had some other. What's the odds? What's the odds on that?
I think I get 400 if the Rams win. That's a $50 bet. But it was a promo, so the Rams won 10 games, so I got my $50 back. And I don't know. I think I have like $25 on the Chiefs. Don't let me fool you with my bravado. I had plenty of bets that didn't work out.
All year we had bets that didn't win.
Yeah, I thought the Browns. I thought the Browns were going to do it.
Yeah, they're making these states
are making Seattle was going to be better. And I had a futures bet on the Colts as well.
Colts.
All right, I'm going to go Chiefs 34-20. I think it's going to be a kind of an easy game. And then I'm going to go Rams 24-20.
We're taking favorites, huh?
I like both the favorites. I like them both to cover. I think the Rams game will be a little bit closer, but I think that Chiefs game is going to be a blowout.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
All right, that'll do it this Sunday here on the Rant Booth. Thank you to Brad for joining us yet again. Johnny Coyle, I'm Rob Brinkman. Thanks to Ralphie for producing the show. Thank you to our great sponsors, All Campus being first and foremost between 10th and 11th Street. Keep an eye out for their business hours over the winter. Brand new inventory lined up for the spring and summer.
Guys, on the line.
You got Hawkeye hats? Got my Hawkeye hats?
Hawkeye hats.
Got my Hawkeye hats.
He's got every college known there. The whole wall is
I know. I've
college.
been there.
It's
Been
awesome.
down there.
It's awesome. Gleason's Bar, all our other sponsors as well, A2D memberships. There's a Gleason's Bar right now. Have them cater your party for the playoffs. Thank you to everyone who liked, subscribed, turned notifications on for the show. Thank you to everyone who commented on the show. For the crew here at the Ramp booth, enjoy the games today. Peace out, everybody.
Take care,
See you guys.